Ng umaga sa ating lahat. Ngayong umaga ay tatalakayin natin accessing God's throne of grace. Ang talata natin pagbubulay ngayong umaga ay mula sa Hebrews chapter 4 verse 16. Sabi dito, "Let us then with confidence draw near to the throne of grace, that we may receive mercy and find grace to help in time of need." Hebrews 4 verse 16 reveals profound truths about our success to God's throne of grace. So what's our teachings here? First is the right to approach God's throne. Through the great high priest, Jesus Christ, believers have been granted the remarkable privilege to approach God's throne with confidence. This access is not based on our own merit or righteousness, but on the finished work of Christ on the cross, which has torn down the barrier separating us from God. Second is God's mercy and grace in times of need. So as we draw near to God's throne, we are met with His abundant mercy and grace, which are readily available to help us in our times of need. God's mercy extends compassion and forgiveness, while His grace provides strength and comfort and assistance to overcome life's challenges and trials. Third is God's response rooted in His attributes. So our confidence in approaching God's throne is grounded in His goodness, infinite wisdom, and eternal plan. God's responses to our prayers are not arbitrary but are guided by His perfect character and sovereign purpose. So He knows what is best for us and works all things together for our ultimate good according to His eternal plan. So what is our applications here? So practical applications of Hebrews chapter 4 verse 16 includes first, approaching God with confidence. So believers are encouraged to boldly approach God's throne with confidence, knowing that we are welcome as beloved children into His presence. We need not to shrink back in fear or doubt, but can draw near to Him with assurance, knowing that He eagerly awaits our petitions. Second is appealing into God's mercy and grace. So in our moments of weaknesses and desperation, we are urged to appeal to God's abundant mercy and grace. Rather than relying on our own strength or resources, we can humbly come before Him, acknowledging our need for His compassion and empowerment to navigate life's challenges. Third is accepting God's good and perfect plan. So as we pray and seek God's guidance, we must trust in His goodness, infinite wisdom, and eternal plan. Even when circumstances seem uncertain or difficult to understand, we can rest in the assurance that God is working all things together for our ultimate welfare and His glory. Surrendering to His will involves relinquishing our own agendas and embracing His own sovereign purposes with faith and obedience. So what is our discussion here? So trusting in God's goodness, in infinite wisdom, and eternal plan is essential in prayer because it reflects a foundational belief in His character and sovereignty. First, God is inherently good, and His actions are always motivated by love and righteousness. This assures us that His responses to our prayers will be in alignment with His perfect nature, characterized by compassion, justice, and grace. Secondly, God's infinite wisdom surpasses our finite understanding, enabling Him to see the bigger picture and comprehend the intricate details of our lives and circumstances. So when we trust in His wisdom, we acknowledge that He knows what is best for us and is capable of orchestrating events according to His perfect plan, even when we cannot see the immediate outcome. Finally, God's eternal plan encompasses His overarching purposes for creation, redemption, and restoration. So our trust in His eternal plan stems from the assurance that He is working all things together for His glory and the ultimate fulfillment of His kingdom purposes. This perspective enables us to pray with confidence, knowing our petitions are heard by a God who is faithful to His promises and steadfast in His love. So in summary, trusting in God's goodness, infinite wisdom, and eternal plan empowers us to approach Him in prayer with confidence, knowing that He is not only able but also willing to respond according to His perfect will. So as we align our hearts with His purposes and surrender our desires to His sovereign rule, we can rest assured that our prayers are heard and that He is actively at work, accomplishing His purposes in through our lives.